Lucia Arellano will represent Peru in Miss World. Who is the model and how to vote for her?
Arellano will represent Peru in Miss World. Who is her model and how to vote for her? Lucia Arellano, the current Miss Peru World, is preparing to represent Peru in the prestigious Miss World pageant in India. Our Queen Lucia Arellano, who is a businesswoman and model, is going to represent Peru in Miss World. The competition will be in India. The date from February 17th to March 9th in New Delhi and Mumbai. So get ready to support her. This girl comes with all her attitude. Who is Lucia Arellano? The current Miss Peru World is Lucia Arellano. She is 28 years old and comes from Iquitos. She graduated in international business in Houston, but she has also been a social warrior since she was 12 years old. And we are not talking about a warrior with a sword, but about a big heart. She founded Similitas de Belén, a solidarity initiative to help needy children in Iquitos, a social project that today is a reality with the construction of a homestay for low-income children in the Belén area where they can access educational system, receiving nutritional support, and having spaces for emotional support. Graduated in international business in Houston and currently focused on her role in the business field, Lucia Arellano has been carrying out activities in her capacity as Miss Peru World with various social projects together with the INN in the fight against cancer, productive prisons looking for second opportunities to people in prison, playing the role of Purable ambassador, visiting children at homes and nursing homes, and also working to promote care for the environment. The 28-year-old woman from Loreto has been traveling throughout the national territory with the aim of promoting national tourism, receiving distinctions in various provinces such as ambassador in the fight against anemia in the San Martin region and declared an illustrious guest in La Libertad, Cusco, Ucayali, Loreto and Junin among others. Isn't it that Miss World Peru was Jennifer Barrantes? It turns out that Jennifer Barrantes was the first chosen to go to Miss World, but she got off the boat. The Miss Peru World organization said it was because Jennifer did not fulfill her preparation duties and social commitments. And who takes the baton? Lucia Arellano. How can we support Lucia? But here comes the good part. If you want to shout and support the representative of Peru, then you have to vote for her in the Mobstar app. So download the app and vote as if there were no tomorrow. Miss World 2023 will be soon. Attention, the show is about to start. Mark the dates well on the calendar, because from February 17th to March 9th, India dresses up for Miss Mundo. New Delhi and Mumbai are the venues, and Peru will be in the house. How many Peruvians have won Miss World? A curious fact is that Peru already has 2 crowns in Miss World. First it was Madeline Hartig Bell Houghton in 1967 and then Maju Mantilla in 2004. And who will be the third? There is the million-dollar question. Lucia Arellano wants to be next on the list.
Heat wave. They would be around 40 degrees Celsius this week. Heat wave, the 2 regions that would border on 40 degrees Celsius next week. Sinamhi warned that at the beginning of next week, it is possible that an increase in temperature will be recorded, especially in 2 regions of Peru. The heat wave not only continues in Lima but also in some regions of Peru, especially in the north of the country. The National Service of Meteorology and Hydrology of Peru, SINAMHY, warned that next week warm winds will enter that will have an effect on the temperature endured by 2 regions. David Garay, SINAMHY meteorology engineer, stated that at the beginning of next week, it is possible that a slight increase in temperature will be recorded, since there would be a greater entry of warm winds coming from the northern hemisphere. We could expect values between 1 or 2 degrees above what we are already taking into account that the values reached are around 37 or 38 degrees, he noted, not ruling out the possibility that it could reach around 40 degrees and that the sensation of heat is higher by 2 or 3 degrees depending on the winds and humidity. The 2 regions that would border 40 degrees Celsius are Tumbes and Piura. What are the factors that generate the heat wave? The SINAMHY specialist said that to understand what is happening with the temperature, which has effects in the north, center and south of the country's coast, he recalled that this is due to a multi-sector situation with various factors. Garay explained that the first thing is seasonality, that is, summer, which in itself raises temperatures, and also the coastal El Niño, which, although it is weak and is migrating to a neutral situation, normalization, has elevated sea temperatures by 1 degree. At least. He then mentioned the presence of the El Niño phenomenon in the Central Pacific that also raises sea temperatures, and that this has an impact on coastal cities. The other factors are the absence of the southern anticyclone that no longer provides us with cold winds, and finally the entry of hot northern winds. He said that all of these are the factors for the increase in temperature, and that it has an impact on the fact that ultraviolet rays, when there are clear skies due to the absence of clouds, have a greater impact on people because the radiation is greater. Recommendations. Given the heat wave scenario, authorities recommend that people should take precautions such as using sunscreen, wide-brimmed hats, umbrellas, sunglasses, and avoiding going out between 10 in the morning and 4 in the afternoon. He also said to be permanently rehydrated to avoid heat stroke. Juliana Lamoja, the young woman who stabbed her mother more than 60 times.
Juliana Lamoja, the young woman who stabbed her mother more than 60 times. The murder committed by Juliana Lamoja on March 5, 2005 shocked Peru. Maria del Carmen Hilaires Martinez received more than 60 stab wounds from her daughter, an 18-year-old law student. She had wanted to poison her, but in the end she decided to kill her with a knife. Her name would be covered in the following days in different newspapers and news programs. Juliana Lamoja, the matricide who had committed the crime with violence and hatred against her mother in the house on Las Magnolias Street in the district of San Juan de Miraflores. The rebellious girl, who many friends and family said needed to be patient, had led to the death of the woman who gave her life. "I killed her. I killed her," she shouted at her brother Luis with the blood on her hands. Her mother was lying on the floor without moving. While her father, Judge Luis Lamoja, received the news in a bed in a hotel in Buenos Aires where he was following a refresher course. The relationship between Juliana and Maria del Carmen was bad, tense. They never got along well, recalled some acquaintances close to the family who had regretted not doing anything sooner, perhaps taking her to a psychologist or a psychiatrist, but the homicide was already accomplished. The young woman reported that her fights with her mother were constant, and for any reason, her outings with her friends, her way of dressing or putting on makeup. "My mother was very explosive, everything seemed wrong to her. We always argued over something stupid. I don't remember what the reason was, but, on one occasion, she got upset. She went to my room and she broke all my things, my perfumes, my clothes," she said between sobs. "The last argument started over a mirror," Juliana said. "I was pretty, flirtatious as I am, trying on a new dress in the living room, for which she had taken out the bathroom mirror," said the young woman. "Then my mom arrived and she started yelling at me for taking the mirror out of the bathroom. I left her talking and went to the kitchen, but she continued yelling at me and insulting me that she was a bad daughter. In the kitchen I saw a knife, I grabbed it and stuck it on the table saying, 'Stop insulting me.' Then, she grabbed 2 knives and threw them at me. One crashed into the wall and broke the handle, the other fell to the floor and also broke. I hit her with the handle part of the knife I had. We struggled, crashed into the wall, and with her back turned, she turned off the light switch. He tried to attack me, but I defended myself. Then, she stopped moving and fell to the floor," said Lamoja, who, after committing the crime, never called the police or asked for help for her mother. Juliana confessed to the police that the victim, who worked as a secretary in a military unit, had found an envelope of rodenticide and thought that her daughter had tried to poison her. She wasn't wrong. The law student had been planning this murder, but she regretted it. After this, the young woman dragged the body of her parent to hide it in the bathroom and, in this way, erased the evidence of her crime. According to Luis Lamoja Hilaires, the matricide's brother, he arrived at the house at approximately 11 p.m. and he could not enter through the front door because it was locked. He also highlighted that she never confessed the fact to him, since, as it was very late, he himself realized that her mother was not there, so he felt worried. When he approached the bathroom, he saw the inert body of her mother through the skylight and asked the neighbors for help. Finally, thanks to his help, he was able to open the door. But there is also another version. A reported person pointed out that Juliana had insulted her mother by shouting at her as an ignorant person and reproached her for not having a university education like her or her father, and that was where she would have started it all. Only she knows the only truth. With the criminal courtroom full of photographers, journalists, and the family of Juliana Lamoja, the trial began against this young woman who had once won a dance contest on television and who was now in front of a judge to determine her sentence for murdering his mother. The matricide defended herself by indicating that she considered her parent to be good, but usually when she was angry, she would go against her. "He told me a prostitute. You don't have a lover? I have your father," she said. Juliana did not stop crying during the trial. She said that her mother tried to attack her first, that the light had gone out when she had tried to disarm her, and that she had responded to her alleged attack. The young woman, who some time ago had won a dance contest on television and was an outstanding student, had to be prosecuted for the murder of her mother. During the trial, she did not stop crying, and she stated that her attacks against Maria del Carmen Hilaires were in her own defense. "I'm not a monster. I don't have a sinister mind. At that moment I didn't feel like she was my mother. She was just a black spot that was rushing at me and I wanted to stop her from hurting me," she said. When she turned on the light, she found the corpse of her mother. She didn't move. He had killed her. She took a bath because she felt disgusting, but she never asked anyone for help. He contradicted himself in some versions. He stated that he had not tried to murder his mother with the rodenticide, he had only bought it out of curiosity. He wanted to see what color this poison took with the soda once diluted, or when faced with difficult questions about the crime he only answered that everything had become cloudy. She answered the same thing when she was asked to explain why she put all the knives in the house in a bag and threw them in the garden. Juliana also accused her Aunt Carmen Rosa of being a bad influence on the victim. The murderer's defense asked the prosecutor's office to prosecute Maria del Carmen's sister for instigating the crime of injuries because she had supposedly incited the mother and daughter to be in constant fights, although this request was unsuccessful. The psychiatric reports clarified the personality of the murderer. She suffers from the Electra complex, emotional fixation on her father, and she demonstrates a histrionic personality. At the time of the sentence reading, Juliana was crying, 20 years in prison. She also had to pay civil compensation of 30,000 new sols in favor of her mother's relatives. Before leaving the room, she said goodbye to her 12-year-old brother Luis, that close relative who would never speak to her again in her life. Juliana Lamoja had her sentence reduced from 20 to 12 years that the Court of Lima had initially imposed. The members had considered that the young woman's repentance had been sincere as a mitigating factor to reduce the penalty. They took into account that at the time the murder occurred she was 18 years old, so the law somewhat minimized her crimes. The murderer was held in the Chorlos Women's Prison. In 2009, after serving 4 years in prison, a third of the 12-year sentence, the woman was released with semi-freedom. No one came to pick her up and the release procedures were carried out by the director of the prison. This was restricted to some established rules of conduct, such as that he could not change his address without prior notice from the court, he had to continue with his psychological therapy, prove his work occupation every 3 months, appear in court every 30 days in order to justify his activities, labor and educational, and was prevented from leaving the country. However, in 2012 she did not comply with some of the aforementioned restrictions and she became a fugitive from justice. There was this rumor that she had escaped to Ecuador. Her father, like her from the first moment, continued to support her, but her brother Luis expected her to remain in prison until her last days and regretted that she had not taken advantage of the benefit of her freedom. The young woman had disappeared and her brother blamed her father, who supposedly had influence over her. That same year, the Superior Court of Justice of Lima ordered the revocation of the arrest warrant against Juliana, finding no responsibility for the convicted woman having transgressed rules of conduct. The resolution warned that the court in charge of the process did not issue any prior request to warn the convicted woman of noncompliance with the rules of conduct required of her, which was necessary. Luis accused his father, who has the same name, of having influence over the magistrate who made this decision because she was his close friend. Luis Lamoja Hilaires, brother of Juliana Lamoja, was one of the protagonists of the story about the murder of Maria del Carmen Hilaires. In a press conference, he stated that her sister makes fun of justice and, therefore, asked her to surrender to justice. I would tell her to turn herself in so that her legal situation does not worsen further, the youngest of the Limoges said at that time. When she regained her freedom, Juliana Limoges dedicated herself to poetry. She appeared on the missing program El Francotirador by journalist Jamie Bailey and gave a Bible to the show host, Magali Medina. She opened a poetry blog. The last one dates back to 2011. She sang at lawn tennis with Christian performer Jackie Velasquez and published a book, Love and the Milky Way. In recent years, he has maintained a low profile. She has been invited to several poetry festivals and, according to her LinkedIn, she is a criminal lawyer and is studying a master's degree in criminal law at the University of Freiburg, in Germany. On her Instagram account, which is open, she posts different photos of her daily life, her readings, or the trips she took to different cities in Europe. She has a Facebook account and a YouTube channel. On her social networks, she also publishes photographs of her stay in the European country, where she lives. She was a fugitive from justice. She appeared on television programs. She dedicated a few years to literature and studied a master's degree in criminal law at the University of Freiburg. Although she keeps a low profile, she is very active on social media. When all these terrible events occurred, Juliana was studying law, a career she finished after leaving prison. Currently, she is dedicated to writing poems.
Historical. Diego Elias was crowned four-time champion of the Motor City Open. Historical. Diego Elias was crowned four-time champion of the Motor City Open. Diego Elias became four-time champion of the Sturbridge Capital Motor City Open squash, after beating New Zealander Paul Cole 3-0. It is the Peruvian's first title of the season. Diego Elias continues to make history in squash. Puma became four-time champion of the Sturbridge Capital Motor City Open squash, after beating New Zealander Paul Cole 3-0. The member of the Athletes Support Program, PAD, of the Peruvian Sports Institute, IPD, won with partials of 11-8, 11-9 and 11-6, in 47 minutes of play, achieving his fourth consecutive tournament title. In this way, the national athlete wins his first title of the year, after losing the final of the JP Morgan Tournament of Champions 2024 against the Egyptian Ali Farag by 3-2. Diego Elias, I am happy with this new title. Elias and Cole, who have occupied the number one position in the world in the last 12 months, were not willing to give up the opportunity to continue scoring points on the circuit. In the first set, the Peruvian made the difference in the last points, taking the game 11-8. In the second round, the New Zealander went 4-2, but Puma recovered and won 11-9. Already in the last set, the champion brought out his experience, closing the match 11-6. Yes, I am very happy to win again here in Detroit. It is my fourth consecutive final. I am happy with my performance in each round of this tournament and excited for more, said Diego Elias in conversation with PSA World Tour. We always have really crazy games. I think the matchup now is 7-7. I learned from our last match, where I lost in Hong Kong. I was very excited about this one and very happy to be able to win in 3, added the Peruvian. Finally, he said he is excited for the rest of the season and hopes to win a few more tournaments. I'm very excited for the rest of the season. In fact, I lost my last 5 or 6 finals before this one, so I needed to win and I hope I can win a couple more this season, he concluded. Juan Pablo Varillas vs Yannick Hanfmann, what time and where to watch live on the Cordoba Open? Juan Pablo Varillas vs Yannick Hanfmann, at what time and where to watch live at the Cordoba Open 2023? Juan Pablo Varillas faces this Tuesday the round of 32 of the ATP 250 in Cordoba, Argentina, against the German Yannick Hanfmann, number 59. Juan Pablo Varillas vs Yannick Hanfmann live. They face each other this Tuesday, February 6 at the Campus Sports Polo Grounds, in Cordoba, Argentina. The match corresponds to the first round of the Cordoba Open 2023 and will be played in the third round of the afternoon, from approximately 5 p.m., Peruvian time. The transmission can be followed on Star Plus in South America. The curtain rises on the South American Tour on clay with the Cordoba Open, an ATP 250 category tournament that will have national credit Juan Pablo Varillas in action. Juanpi arrives at the competition after competing with the Peru team in the 2024 Davis Cup qualifiers, where he lost 3-2 to Chile on a hard court. Varillas played the singles matches, losing first to Alejandro Tabilo, 2-1, and later to Nicolas Jarry, 2-0. The start of the season has not been the best for the 28-year-old athlete, as he was eliminated in the first round of qualifying in Adelaide against the Australian Della Vedova, wild card. After that he faced the British Cameron Norrie in the main draw of the Australian Open, losing in straight sets. He has lost in every hard court match he played all year. Varillas arrives from playing the Davis Cup series against Chile in hard. Juan Pablo Varillas vs Yannick Hanfmann, match schedules around the world. Peru, 5 p.m. Ecuador, 5 p.m. Colombia, 5 p.m. Mexico, 4 p.m. Argentina, 7 p.m. Uruguay, 7 p.m. Brazil, 7 p.m. Chile, 7 p.m. United States, Miami, 5 p.m. United States, Los Angeles, 2 p.m. Spain, 11 p.m. Juan Pablo Varillas, number 85 in the world, quickly turns the page and gets ready for clay, a terrain to which he is more adapted. In the first round of the Argentine competition he will face Yannick Hanfmann, number 59, 7th seed. It will be the fourth confrontation between the two and the balance is favorable for the German. In 2022, in Braunschweig, Varillas retired due to injury during the first set. That same year, he lost in straight sets at the Challenger in Rio de Janeiro, while in the last Masters 1000 in Madrid the European won 6-4, 3-6 and 6-2. The Peruvian will try to change those results. Where and how to watch live Juan Pablo Varillas vs Yannick Hanfmann for the Cordoba Open 2023. The commitment will be broadcast in Peru and South America through the Star Plus signal. It can be followed all over the world through Tennis TV. Very close to history. Davis Cup Qualifiers 2024, very close to history. Peru fell 3-2 to Chile in the 2024 Davis Cup Qualifiers. Peru fell 3-2 to Chile and the team led by Luis Horna will play in the Davis Cup World Group Playoffs. It was fought until the end. The Peruvian tennis team fell 3-2 to Chile in the 2024 Davis Cup Qualifiers, losing its option to qualify for the finals of the tournament. The afternoon was about to make history. The duo made up of brothers Arclon Huertas del Pino and Connor Huertas del Pino entered the Anita Lozano Central Court of the National Stadium in Santiago with one goal, to give them the second point for Peru. And boy did he achieve it. The first set was very even. In fact, each one won their serves until the 11th game. In the 12th, the Peruvian duo broke and took the set 7-5. In the second set, the brothers increased their level significantly. They broke the fourth game to go up 3-1, and only held serve to take the set 6-3 and the match. Very happy. As I said before, we trust a lot in our game, in our double, we are brothers, we complement each other very well. Thank God, the strategy that the captain proposed to us worked. Happy for the victory, said Arclon Huertas of the Pine Tree. Then, Juan Pablo Varillas took the field, this time to face Nicolas Jarry. Unfortunately, the Peruvian did not have a good game again. To begin with, the first national racket lost its first two serves, falling 6-2. In the second set, Varillas improved, but could not beat the Chilean, falling 6-3 and leaving everything in the hands of Ignacio Buz. The 19-year-old showed steely mettle in the first set, winning it 6-2 in just 25 minutes. However, the Chilean demonstrated his category in the next set, winning 6-3. In the third game, Tabilo began by breaking the Peruvian's game and was able to maintain the difference, despite the Peruvian tennis player's insistence. In this way, Peru returns to the playoffs of the Davis Cup World Group, while Chile will compete in the finals of the tournament. Saturday of Hope. The first match of the series ended with the defeat of the Peruvian Juan Pablo Varillas 2-1 against the Chilean Alejandro Tabilo. The national tennis player won the first set, 6-4. However, he did not have the same luck in the next two sets, in which he lost 6-2 and 6-1. But, the big surprise came from Ignacio Bus, 438, who beat the Chilean Nicolas Jarry, 22-1 by 6-2, 2-6 and 6-3. The noble Peruvian dog, canine treasure of our culture.
The noble Peruvian dog, canine treasure of our culture. Find out a little more about the origin of this canine with the information we bring you in the following note. The Peruvian dog is a survivor. About 3,000 years ago he appears as a mythological being, who guides the dead to the afterlife. During the colony he was seen as an instrument of witchcraft. In the Republic they accuse him of bringing the plague, and by the 20th century his fate seemed sealed. No one wanted him. That is, until everything changed. Today this small and rare animal is in fashion. Not only that, in 2009 he was crowned Dog of the Year in the once exclusive Club for Dogs, the Kennel Club, and this 2010 the International Cynological Federation, which classifies all the best friends of man around the world, will dedicate a special tribute to him in July. How did he do it? To begin with, being a unique specimen. Today it is recognized that this animal, hairless and dark-skinned, is 100% of Peruvian origin, and according to what Abel Leon, head of registries of the Kennel Club and vice president of the National Committee for the Protection of the Hairless Dog of Peru, told BBC Mundo, the first vestiges of their presence in the country can be seen in pre-Hispanic and pre-Inca ceramics. The Peruvian dog, hairless dog or chamu dog, is a breed of dog native to Peru. Due to its lack of hair, this breed keeps its body at a higher temperature to protect itself from the environment, especially when coming into contact with human skin. For this reason, medicinal qualities are attributed to it, since thanks to this it can relieve the rheumatism of those who have it nearby. Another of the medicinal properties attributed to this beautiful animal is to avoid allergies, asthma and bronchial problems, because it lacks the hair that could cause these respiratory problems. In addition, you will never have problems with fleas or ticks, since they will not find a place to nest. According to various investigations, the Peruvian dog would have arrived in Peru in the year 300 BC. Furthermore, thanks to archaeological work, in 1987 remains of this animal were found next to the tomb of the Lord of Sipan. It is said that his remains were next to the skeletons of the emperor's servants and concubines. This unique dog has existed since pre-Columbian times, since representations of it have even been found in different ceramics from pre-Inca cultures such as the Mochica, Vicus, Chankay, Chamu, and Sacan. The Peruvian dog was known as Oco by the Incas. This is a Quechua word that means dog, while the Mchis and Mochicas called it Viringo. The descendants of these latter cultures spread between Piura and Trujillo, which is why these regions call it that to this day. Other names of the Peruvian dog, different names have been attributed to this unique canine over the years. These are some. Scientific name. The scientific name of this beautiful dog is Canis lupus familiaris, Perro Calado, Chimo, Chimic, Chamu, Peruvian orchid, Inca, Peruvian hairless dog, Pila, Peruvian hairless, Peruvian Viringo. The Peruvian dog, although it does not have hair on its body, in some cases it may have hair on its head like a tuft or on the tip of its tail. Since they do not have hair, they have quite sensitive skin, so they can suffer irritation if they are exposed to the sun too much. It is important that they use sunscreen. They get along well with children and are very intelligent and skilled, as well as clean. The Peruvian dog is highly recommended for those who want to have pets but suffer from allergies or respiratory diseases. Your body is like a bag of warm water due to its higher temperature. This is one of the reasons why it is considered a medicinal animal for those suffering from rheumatism and bone pain. On October 22, 2001, the Congress of the Republic of Peru, through Decree Law No. 27,537, included this breed as heritage of the Peruvian nation and recognized it as native to the country. Furthermore, on March 8, 2013, the government of Peru appointed archaeologist Denise Pazzi Escott as representative of the Ministry of Culture before the National Committee for the Protection of the Hairless Dog of Peru.
Jorge Fossati happy that Paulo Guerrero is starting to play in Peruvian soccer.
Jorge Fossati happy that Paulo Guerrero is starting to play in Peruvian soccer. The coach of the Peruvian national team highlighted that Paulo Guerrero will continue to demonstrate his validity in Liga 1 after signing for Cesar Vallejo. Jorge Fossati began his work at the helm of the Peruvian national team, waiting for his official debut next month in the FIFA Double Date, where he will face Nicaragua and the Dominican Republic in friendlies that will take place in Lima. The coach will have to announce the list of those called up for those duels, in which the inclusion of the historic Paulo Guerrero appears as a possibility after completing his signing for Cesar Vallejo. At 40 years old, the forward will play for the first time in Peruvian soccer, and Jorge Fossati was happy for his validity. "I am happy that Paulo is starting to play in the Peruvian league. He demonstrated all his hierarchy abroad, and last year he demonstrated his validity defending LDU. Not only being on the squad, but also being a protagonist in the Ecuadorian tournament and in the Copa Sudamericana." Fossati opens the doors to Guerrero. Paulo Guerrero, historic scorer of the Peruvian national team, returned to the bicolor during 2023 and came to act in the 6 games played so far in the South American qualifiers. Despite the age of the Predator, Fossati insisted that his conditions will prevail for an eventual call-up. "I don't have any distrust of Paulo's validity. He will logically continue to demonstrate it. He is not a player who wanders around the world for 5 years. This is not the case with Guerrero. He is becoming a current player. That's why I insist that you don't look at the ID, look at the performance. Let's look at the validity, the topicality, since the hierarchy was seen too much," he said. Following up on Liga 1, Jorge Fossati has attended various matches in the first 2 days of Liga 1 2024, specifically in Lima, when Alianza Lima and Universitario de Deportes were at home. However, the Charwa pointed out that he has in mind traveling to Trujillo. Paulo Guerrero would debut with Cesar Vallejo on February 18, as well as to high-altitude cities. Not only for Paulo, the possibility of going to see a game in Trujillo is latent, especially on the plane. "I do not rule out going to watch the game in Cusco, but there are several things to organize," he said. After the friendly matches in March, the Peruvian national team will have 2 more tests in June before beginning its participation in the Copa America that will be held in the United States. After that, in September, the South American qualifiers resume, in which the bicolor is in last place.
Bad news. Juan Pablo Ruiz fell to Yannick Hanfmann. Bad news. Juan Pablo Ruiz caído Yannick Hanfmann. After his participation in the Davis Cup, the Peruvian tennis player registered a new defeat in Argentina and was eliminated in the first round. Juan Pablo Ruiz is not going through a good moment in his career. Peru's #1 racket has had a difficult start to the season, and this was recently demonstrated in the 2024 Davis Cup, where he was unable to demonstrate his credentials. Now, he suffered a tough defeat in Argentina, being eliminated in the first round of the Córdoba Open. After his participation with the Peruvian team in Santiago, Juanpi did not have time to rest and quickly packed his bags for Argentine territory to continue his adventure on the ATP circuit. Already leaving aside the hard court of the Chilean capital, the national tennis player now began his clay court campaign, his favorite surface, and was present in the Córdoba Open. Ruiz met in the first round of the competition against the German Yannick Hanfmann, 7th seed, and was unable to win the duel. Although he began by winning the first set and had achieved a break in the second, errors in his service prevented him from winning in 2 sets. His opponent was able to come back and win 2-1, 7-5, 6-7 and 1-6. In this way, Juanpi continues to accumulate defeats in 2024. In fact, so far, he has not been able to play more than 1 match in any tournament on the circuit. He fell in his debut at the ATP in Adelaide, at Roland Garros, and now he has fallen again at the ATP in Córdoba. After this negative result, Juan Pablo Ruiz will remain in Argentina, since his next challenge will be the ATP 250 in Buenos Aires, which will take place next Monday, February 12th. The Peruvian hopes to return to the triumphant path in said contest. Juan Pablo Ruiz's participation in the Davis Cup. Juan Pablo Ruiz was the Peruvian who generated the most expectations in Peru versus Chile for the 2024 Davis Cup qualifiers. Being the #1 racket in the country, he was expected to stand out more than the entire team in search of glory in the tournament. Tennis, however, reality ended up being different than expected. Juanpi was unable to celebrate any victory in Santiago de Chile last weekend. This fact caused surprise, since he had not lost in this competition since April 2019. With almost 5 years undefeated and 12 victories in a row in the tournament, between doubles and singles, the national tennis player arrived fully motivated to face the Southern team, but unfortunately he was far from his best level. In the 2022 Pacific Classic, played at the La Exposito Lawn Tennis Club, in Lima, Varillas was the great protagonist of the bicolored team, achieving 2 significant victories against none other than Nicolas Jarry and Alejandro Tabilo, the same ones he faced now in the Chilean capital. This time, the story was different. First, Bonpi faced Tabilo and started winning the match, but later he was disconcerted by the growth of his opponent and fell 1-2, 6-4, 2-6, 1-6. The next day, he had the chance to give Peru a pass to the Davis Cup finals, but he couldn't beat Jarry and lost in 2 sets, 2-6 and 4-6. Everything was in the hands of Ignacio Buz, who, although he achieved a historic victory over the first racket of Chile, in the final match against the second racket he could not repeat the feat, falling 1-2 and allowing the Mapocho team to achieve the long-awaited qualification to the next round of the tournament. After that, Varillas hopes to soon return to his best level to continue consolidating himself among the best tennis players in the world and soon achieve his goal of winning his first ATP title. For now, it has been a discreet start to the season, with negative results, but he will seek to reverse that situation as soon as possible. Ricardo Gareca talks about the rivalry with Chile. Ricardo Gareca: the rivalry with Chile is more from the Peruvian to the Chilean than vice versa. Ricardo Gareca also referred to the fans of the Peruvian national team in his first weeks as coach of Chile. Ricardo Gareca is experiencing his first weeks as coach of the Chilean national team. His goal is to raise the performance of La Roja to fight for qualification towards the 2026 World Cup. The Tigre already has experience as a coach in the South American qualifiers after his successful time in the Peruvian national team. As coach of the bicolor team, Gareca already knows what the confrontations are like in the Pacific Classic. In a recent interview he pointed out that Chile experiences the rivalry between both countries with less intensity. It seems to me from what I have seen in a few days, that the rivalry with Chile is more from the Peruvian towards the Chilean than vice versa. I would say that the Chilean has great affection for the Peruvians, the Argentine coach expressed to Latina television. At another time, Gareca announced what the process of finishing a cycle with Peru and accepting the position of technical direction in Chile was like. It's been so long, they showed significant interest in hiring us, we liked the way they spoke to us, the intentions they had, he added. Gareca's message to Peruvian fans. Gareca did not forget the fans of the Peruvian national team, who supported him during his time as coach from 2015 to 2022. Although he also made it clear that his job today is to be the coach of Chile. To the people of Peru I only have words of gratitude for the treatment I have received. But, essentially, everyone is happy for the responsibility I have in the category of the Chilean team. It is a very important team. That is what that mobilizes me more than anything, he said. Gareca, 65, replaced fellow Argentine Eduardo Berizzo, who resigned in November after a poor campaign in the year and a half he was in charge of the team, achieving only 1 victory in official matches. Sebastián Piñera died. Reactions of Peruvian politicians to the accident.
Peru News Today, all you need to know about to Peru.
Sebastián Piñera died. Reactions of Peruvian politicians to the accident that ended the life of the former president. The former governor of Chile was piloting a helicopter that fell in the commune of Lago Rengo, Los Rios region. According to local sources, he would not have been able to remove his seat belt, so he would have drowned. After the helicopter in which he was traveling with his family crashed, the death of the former president of Chile Sebastián Piñera was confirmed. According to local sources, the aircraft in which he was traveling crashed in the commune of Lago Rengo, in the Los Rios region, located in the south of the country. Unlike 3 other occupants, who swam to shore, the former president was not able to remove his seatbelt and drowned. The Navy arrived at the place where they confirmed the sinking of about 40 meters. They confirmed that Magdalena Piñera, sister of the former president, businessman Ignacio Guerrero and his son, were on board. The first reports indicate that the helicopter took off in the middle of a day of rain and fog that affects the area. What did the Peruvian politicians say? The first politician to speak out was former Congressman Yanni Lizcano, who, through social networks, extended his condolences to the former president's family and referred to the situation the country is experiencing due to the forest fires. Beyond nationalities, always support in pain, he wrote. Juan Shepard also used his official account in X of him to dedicate a few words to the former president. When he could still contribute a lot to the defense of freedom and democracy, former President Sebastián Piñera dies. An indisputable loss in the principled right that does not give in or give in to the siren song of the power in power. My condolences to his family and his compatriots, he expressed. The President of the Congress of the Republic, Alejandro Soto, also regretted his tragic death and indicated that, from Parliament, they extend their sincere condolences to the family and the Chilean people. The founder of Alianza para el Progreso, Cesar Acuna, also dedicated heartfelt words to him and indicated that his thoughts and prayers are with the former president's family at this very difficult time. I am deeply sorry for the loss of him in this tragic plane accident, he added. Former Peruvian Vice President Raúl Díaz-Canseco expressed his condolences to the brother country of Chile. I extend my condolences to the family of the former president. May the Lord rest his soul, he wrote. Maria del Carmen Alva, former head of Congress, also referred to the death of the former Chilean president and she remembered the time she met him. Deeply moved by the departure of Sebastián Piñera, who was twice president of Chile. I want to send my condolences to his loved ones, friends and followers at this difficult time. May he rest in peace, she indicated. The president of the Congressional Foreign Relations Commission, Alejandro Aguinaga, also dedicated a few words to him. I deeply regret the death of former Chilean President Sebastián Piñera. I express my deepest condolences to the family, people and government of Chile in this moment of pain. May they find comfort and strength to face the irreparable loss of an exemplary Democrat, whose legacy will endure in the people of Chile, he said. The mayor of the Metropolitan Municipality of Lima, Rafael López Aliaga, mentioned that his legacy will always be remembered. We accompany the Chilean people in this difficult moment. Rest in peace, dear former President Sebastián Piñera, he wrote. The television host and daughter of former President Alan Garcia, Carla Garcia, recalled the closeness between her father and the former Chilean president. As a result of that friendship, the Pacific Alliance was created in 2011. Life is an instant, she indicated. Martín Vizcarra, former president and investigated for corruption crimes, also referred to the loss of the two-time president of Chile. My deepest condolences to the family and the brother people of Chile. Piñera was a true Democrat, a friend of Peru. In his first term I greeted him as governor, in his second election we coincided as presidents. Goodbye Sebastián, he said. Congressman Edward Malaga joined in the condolences. Many highlight his regional leadership and his friendship with our country. We briefly met in 2021 in Lima during the inauguration. Rest in peace, he said. Christian Dominguez accepts that he was unfaithful to Pamela Franco and apologizes after AMPE. Christian Dominguez accepts that he was unfaithful to Pamela Franco and apologizes after AMPE. I feel ashamed, miserable. The singer revealed that, after the AMPE with Mary Moncada and the revealing chats with Alexis Amam, he is receiving psychological help. Definitely, I must have a stupid thing, I could be sick. That's why I'm in the hands of the psychologist. In an interview recorded for the America Hoy program, Christian Dominguez addressed for the first time the AMPE that Magali TV, La Firme broadcast, in which he was caught being unfaithful to his partner, Pamela Franco, with whom he has a daughter. I was an unfortunate person, who didn't think about anything, not about his family, not about what he would lose, not even that I was going to kill so many people emotionally, he said. Dominguez was recorded by the cameras of the Magali Medina program when he entered a van with tinted windows in the company of a woman identified as Mary Moncada, who later revealed, he went through what he had to go through. Days later, Alexis Amam, a 24-year-old girl from Chicla, also claimed to have had an affair with the singer. The infidelity thing is absolutely true. I have to accept the big mistake I made. I have to apologize to Pamela, first of all, to my parents, to my children, to my entire family for the public shame that I have caused them. For me it was terrible. I am sure that they must feel more ashamed than me. I feel ashamed for what I caused, miserable, he added. When asked if he would consider himself a serial cheater, Dominguez responded, "I wouldn't be able to say if I am or not because I wouldn't know how to identify what I have. I couldn't diagnose myself like that. I don't know. I'm just aware that I have to go to therapy. Definitely, I must have a stupid thing. For that reason, I am taking psychological help. I have a problem and I need to identify it." Did Christian Dominguez see the ampe with Pamela Franco? During the interview, Dominguez confirmed that he saw the ampe with Pamela Franco without imagining that it would be him. "I didn't even suspect it. We were alone, we cried alone. I wouldn't want anyone to be in my shoes because it was very hard. Everything I had came to my mind, everything thrown away. I must have a problem, I could be sick, that's why I'm in the hands of the psychologist." At another time, he acknowledged that he was an unfortunate person who didn't think about anything and that he had decided not to cut a deception. He explained that what he had outside of his home was not a relationship, but a constant mistake, where feelings were not involved. When he decides to do something stupid, you're not thinking about anything. Then you think about your daughter, your father, your partner. The hardest thing was talking to my daughter. I had to gain strength. It was very painful, said the singer. Likewise, he took the opportunity to request that the comments directed towards his family stop. "Say what you want to say about me. The only thing I would ask of you is that you don't mess with my children, my parents or Pamela. They have nothing. What to see?" Are more ampes coming to Christian Dominguez? After confirming the romances with Mary Moncada and Alexis Amam, Dominguez appeared on the America Hoy program to provide more details about what has happened in his personal life. He confessed that it is possible that more women will appear claiming to have had some type of relationship with him. "I've been wrong more than twice, I've been wrong many times," he admitted. "It's not that I'm missing something physically, because it wouldn't make sense to risk my family so much," he said. He also assured that his colleagues in the great international orchestra had no knowledge of his infidelities. "I did my things alone. I didn't tell my friends what I was doing wrong because they all have families. I didn't count it as a feat. I apologize to each of them and their families." Finally, he revealed that he no longer shares a house with Pamela Franco and that he still loves her, although he understands that it would be difficult for her to forgive him. "My illness, if you want to say it that way, has nothing to do with my feelings. That is a carnal, sexual issue, but it doesn't go through my feelings," she said. "Forgive me for having killed you emotionally, for destroying what we had built, for my mistakes, for having hurt you and your family in this way. If I was not a good husband, I will try to be, at least, a good father." Winners of the Claro Lumini Awards 2024. Winners of the Claro Lumini Awards 2024. Winners of the Claro Lumini Awards 2024, awards for the streamers and influencers community in Peru. This weekend the Claro Lumini Awards 2024 took place, the Peruvian award for content creators and influencers in different branches that has been taking place since 2023, and was created by Andy Marino, better known as Alzine on social networks. Here we leave the list of the winners of the night, of these awards that managed to bring together more than 45,000 people in their official broadcast, a record for Twitch in Peru. Best Content Creator of the Year. Iowa. Jose Martinez. Philip Chujoy. Speaking Huvadas, winners. Best Song of the Year. Liam Z, Otra Noche Mas remix featuring Oblas Huvadas. Christ Horida, Hidden Smile. De Fonseca, King Leon, Amores. Cesar BK and Alvaro Rod, Today I'm Going to Forget You, winners. Best Favorite International Streamer in Peru of the Year. The Mariana. Crystal Molly. X Cry. Shadun 666, winner. Best Twitch Streamer of the Year. Not Here. Booty_Cito. Derek. El Gloglicking, winner. Best Cultural Content of the Year. Merlin's Library. Hugox Chugox. The Good Bookseller. Plato's Robot, winner. Best Informative Content. Josie Postord, by La and Serona. Kerwin's Diary. Say It Loud. The News Guy, winner. Best Vlog Content of the Year. Crising Quechua. Ariana Bolo Arce. Say It No More. Cholo Soy, winner. Best Travel Content of the Year. Missias But Travelers. Aldo Comunica. Ticket in Hand. Franz, winner. Best Podcast of the Year. Lawliners. Carlin on the Net, Carlos Carlin. We All Heal. I Hollow, Carlos Vilches, winner. Best Sports Content of the Year. Alonso Scorer. Fenodric. Beyond the Goal. Best Dota 2 Content of the Year. Smash. Mr. Chalco. Tau Dota. Booty_Cedo, winner. Best Fashion and Lifestyle Content. Victoria Dahlier. Cinnamon Style. What a Thekic. Grace on the Internet, winner. Best Gaming Content of the Year. Here. Blueberry. Pepe the Wizard. Derek, winner. Best Food Content of the Year. Travel and Try. To Eat. Chili Cause. Woljirmok, winner. Best Technology Content of the Year. Technology for Me. Arturo Goga. Diego Quiros. Philip Chujoy, winner. Best Humor Content of the Year. The Caneros. We Were Paws. Sir Benito. In Interviews, by Sigalatas, winner. Best Dance Content of the Year. Nixie Fuentes. Miguelito Peru. Tutorial Sploo. Joseph Valle, winner. Best Fail of the Year. The Gloglicking. Best Clip of the Year. Jafrane. Lifetime Achievement Award. Mox, YouTuber. Revelation Content of the Year. Jamie Bailey. In short, the Claro Lumini Awards are not only an occasion to reward the talent and creativity of Peruvian influencers, but they also have an impact on society by promoting cultural diversity, innovation and community connection in the digital sphere. Millet Figueroa and Marcelo Tinethli got engaged. Millet Figueroa and Marcelo Tinethli would have gotten engaged. We are ready to get married. The couple shared a curious message with a ring on the Peruvian model's hand. In good time. The couple made up of Millet Figueroa and the prominent Argentine presenter Marcelo Tinethli proved to be deeply in love, contemplating the possibility of getting married. They are currently going through a very positive phase in their relationship, which indicates that they could be considering getting formally engaged. Through Instagram stories, the presenter of Bailando 2023 published a romantic photo where their hands can be seen intertwined. A notable detail is that the former reality star shows an elegant diamond ring on the fourth finger of her left hand, which could be a commitment. In the published image, Tinethli tagged the Peruvian model with her name and added 2 emojis of hearts on fire, thus increasing the feeling of an intense emotional bond between the two. This suggests that they could be thinking about taking a step further in their relationship, or perhaps the ring is simply a gift from the presenter to Millet, since she had not previously been seen wearing it. Let us remember that both began their relationship in September of the previous year, thus marking 6 months together. Their meeting occurred during the recordings of Bailando 2023, where from the beginning they showed a special chemistry. As is known, the model left the dance reality show and since then they have been seen more together than ever. Marcelo Tinethli talks about marriage. At one of the galas in which Millet Figueroa participated, Marcelo Tinethli made a joke about formalizing their relationship and moving to the next level. At that time, the Argentine driver expressed his willingness to marry the Peruvian model, mentioning that they even considered asking a friend for advice. We are ready to get married. We have to see the party where Caro threw it, because he can give us information, were Tinethli's statements about Ana Carolina Ardhain's wedding. I love the proposal they made to you outside, I have to do something like that, added the presenter. Afterwards, he asked Millet if she would like to get married at some point, to which she responded, I have never thought about it like that, but when love comes and the two people are romantic like us, beautiful things are born that you have never thought about, and marriage and all that, it is a feeling that well. I am born to marry the love of my life, said the couple. They will get married? What does Millet Figueroa do in Argentina? Recently, Millet Figueroa, a renowned Peruvian model and dancer, found herself at a new professional crossroads in Argentina. The artist has received a proposal to star in a theatrical musical, which represents an exciting step in her career. After her participation in programs such as Bailando 2023 and Del Streaming, Figueroa has attracted the attention of the Argentine art scene. Despite her recent retirement from the dance reality show for health reasons, her presence remains prominent and her talent is widely recognized. The proposal to star in a musical not only represents a new professional opportunity for Figueroa, but also a challenge that she is willing to face with enthusiasm. Furthermore, this possibility has been supported by Marcelo Tinelli, a well-known driver and Figueroa's current partner, who has confirmed that the artist has concrete proposals. There is a proposal this year, I hope to soon tell what is coming, I am too happy. There is nothing concrete, but there is an interesting proposal, it is a musical. I am going to sing too, said Figueroa about the opportunities that are presented to him. Peruvian pride. Norberto Solano was inducted into the Newcastle Hall of Fame. Peruvian pride. Norberto Solano was inducted into the Newcastle Hall of Fame. The English club made the announcement through their social networks, highlighting Norberto Solano's time in the Magpies team and his best goals in the Premier League. Newcastle United revealed on Tuesday that Norberto Solano has been honored with a place in the Premier League club's Hall of Fame. The ceremony took place at St James Park, as part of the awards presented during the Newcastle United Foundation celebration dinner. The former Peruvian soccer player was invited to the ceremony along with members of the current squad. Norberto Solano played for Newcastle in two periods, between 1998 to 2004 and then 2005 to 2008, where he played 314 games for the Magpies in the Premier League and scored 48 goals. In addition to the Maestrito, the Irishman Mick Martin, who was in the squad between 1978 and 1984, was also honored. The club stated that both were celebrated for his outstanding contributions during his time in the black and white. What a player! Naby Solano is inducted into the Newcastle United FC Hall of Fame. Congratulations, they published on the club's official social networks. Likewise, they accompanied this message with a compilation video of the plays and goals that the former Peruvian midfielder scored with the Magpies shirt during his time in the Premier League. The former winger of the Peruvian national team made his professional debut on April 13, 1992 and retired on July 1, 2012. Solano and his possible arrival at La Roja. Norberto Solano indicated to the Chilean newspaper La Tercera that he is in conversation with Ricardo Gareca, but he does not know if he will work with the Argentine again now that he is coach of La Roja. I still have contact with Ricardo. We talk and we always greet each other because of the friendship we have created, but the truth is that I don't know anything about the option of arriving in Chile. If Ricardo hasn't mentioned anything yet, he isn't obliged to work with me either. He will make the decisions he has to make, he said. Argentine Nestor Bonillo would leave his position as external advisor in sports management and infrastructure development at Alianza Lima, a position he assumed 6 months ago, to work as a physical trainer for the Chilean national team. National Pisco Sour Day, how it came about, how long it's been celebrated and why. National Pisco Sour Day, how it was born, since when and why it is celebrated on the first Saturday of February every year. Find out all the details about National Pisco Sour Day, which has become a tradition among Peruvians. To celebrate our emblematic drink, National Pisco Sour Day was established every first Saturday in February. In this note, we will review its history and importance of this cocktail before paying tribute to it this weekend. Since when is National Pisco Sour Day celebrated? The former director of RPP News, Raul Vargas Vega, had the initiative to celebrate National Pisco Sour Day every first Saturday in February. Let's celebrate Pisco in style, he said at the time. We are going to commemorate it, decorate it and celebrate it, he added in the remembered program La Divina Comida. This date is significant as it coincides with the anniversary of the birth of Victor von Morris, the creator of this iconic drink. It is an opportunity to remember and honor his contribution to Peruvian mixology and promote pisco sour culture around the world. Pisco sour is a drink made from pisco, lemon juice and other ingredients highly valued by Peruvians and foreigners. Find out all the details about National Pisco Sour Day, which has become a tradition among Peruvians. To celebrate our emblematic drink, National Pisco Sour Day was established every first Saturday in February. In this note, we will review its history and importance of this cocktail before paying tribute to it this weekend. Since when is National Pisco Sour Day celebrated? The former director of RPP News, Raul Vargas Vega, had the initiative to celebrate National Pisco Sour Day every first Saturday in February. "Let's celebrate Pisco in style," he said at the time. "We are going to commemorate it, decorate it and celebrate it," he added in the remembered program La Divina Comida. This date is significant as it coincides with the anniversary of the birth of Victor von Morris, the creator of this iconic drink. It is an opportunity to remember and honor his contribution to Peruvian mixology and promote pisco sour culture around the world. Pisco sour is a drink made from pisco, lemon juice and other ingredients highly valued by Peruvians and foreigners. Pisco sour is a drink made from pisco, lemon juice and other ingredients highly valued by Peruvians and foreigners. Where was pisco sour born? Between 1916 and 1929, the Morris Bar was one of the first establishments to prepare the famous pisco sour. Not much was known about its origin and history, therefore, researcher Guillermo Toro Lira contacted Victor Morris, grandson of the owner of the place, to delve a little more about this flagship cocktail. "What did you find?" The records read the name of Mario Bruaguet Burgos, a young man from Chincha Alta and pupil of Morris who had a crucial role in the preparation of this alcoholic beverage. After working at the bar, he went to the Mori Hotel where he continued with the preparation and, according to the memoirs of Peruvian writer Luis Alberto Sanchez, he was the inventor of the pisco sour. In documents dating back to 1927, one person wrote that, each time he visited the place, the pisco sour improved, so the evolutionary process of the cocktail coincides with Bruaguet's time working and they described it as excellent. Since sours already existed, since 1926, the Morris Bar prepared cocktails with egg white, but the pisco sour was the protagonist. This invention by Mario Bruaguet Burgos must have occurred between 1926 and 1928. It should be noted that Bruaguet was also the cocktail link between the Morris Bar and the Mori Hotel, where he continued serving the pisco sour that we all now enjoy for more than 25 years. Although he died in 1970 at the age of 61, his creation continues to delight palates. How is Pisco Sour Day celebrated? This celebration is a unique experience in Peru. In several districts of Lima, bars and restaurants prepare special menus with a variety of pisco sours, each with its own unique touch. There are events where bartenders compete in contests to demonstrate their skill in preparing this drink and create innovative versions. In addition to the cocktail, accompanied by gastronomic events, festival events are also organized throughout the country. These include traditional Peruvian dances, live music, and exhibits on the history and production of pisco. It is an opportunity for Peruvians to connect with their cultural heritage, enjoy the hospitality and camaraderie that are so characteristic of our culture. Recipe: Pisco Sour. Peruvian cocktail. Ingredients: 50 milliliters of pisco, 30 milliliters lemon juice, 15 milliliters sugar syrup, 1 egg white. Narrowness, optional. 5 ice cubes. Preparation of pisco sour. 1. Place the ice in a shaker along with the pisco, lime juice and sugar syrup. We shake for a few minutes. 2. Shake well, strong and without fear. The white has to whip and you will see how foam forms from the whites. We optionally decorate with a few drops of Angostura or a cherry. 3. We serve in a tall iced 24 centiliters glass. And if it turns out rich, get another one. Tips for a delicious pisco sour. Remember that these measurements are only for a cocktail. If you have guests, you will have to make them and shake them one by one. If you have not bought or cannot find sugar syrup, you can make it at home. You just have to put the same amount of sugar and water in a small saucepan. In this case it will be 7.5 grams of sugar and 7.5 milliliters of water. We let the syrup form and let it cool. It can also be done with a mixer, blender, the result is effective. It all depends on how many you have to prepare. Lima continues to face high temperatures. Will it reach 40 degrees Celsius? This is what Sinamhi says. Lima continues to face high temperatures. Will it reach 40 degrees Celsius? This is what Sinamhi says. The National Service of Meteorology and Hydrology of Peru, Sinamhi, predicts historic temperatures in the midst of an exceptionally hot summer. Lima registered thermal sensations of up to 37 degrees Celsius and the heat wave will persist until March. Experts ask the population to take precautions. In the midst of an exceptionally hot summer, the capital of Peru has been enduring high temperatures in recent days, reaching a thermal sensation of 37 degrees Celsius yesterday in the districts of Jesus Maria and La Molina, a figure that is well above than expected for the 2024 summer season. Faced with this surprising climatic event, Lima faces the possibility of reaching an unprecedented heat wave that would reach up to 40 degrees Celsius, according to the climatological estimates of the National Meteorology and Hydrology Service of Peru, Sinamhi, for the entire country, which it means that the inhabitants of Lima will continue to face days marked by intense heat in the coming weeks. In statements to various local media, meteorologist Benito Valderrama, representative of Sinamhi, revealed that the extreme temperatures experienced this year have already exceeded historical records, marking a considerable increase compared to the last 3 years, which becomes a milestone in the climatic variability of the country. The specialist also highlighted that this phenomenon could be repeated and extend until March. Humidity, little wind and solar radiation increase the thermal sensation. Benito Valderrama indicated that the temperature record in various districts of Lima could increase due to the thermal sensation, which usually increases the heat by 1 or 4 degrees more due to various environmental factors. In La Molina, for example, we have reached 35 degrees Celsius, but the sensation of heat could increase by up to 3 or 4 degrees in certain areas. It is important to keep in mind that inside vehicles such as cars or buses, the thermal sensation can be considerably higher than that recorded by a thermometer, which means that the perceived heat could be even more intense, he maintained. Valderrama explained that thermal sensation is the human body's perception of air temperature, which may differ from the actual temperature measured by a thermometer. This perception is influenced by several factors, including humidity, low wind and solar radiation, he said, adding that citizens should avoid exposing themselves during critical periods of the day, generally between noon and 3 in the afternoon, when the highest temperatures are recorded. Why is it so hot in Lima? The explanation behind the high temperatures lies in the characteristic climatic behavior of February and March in Peru, identified as the warmest months. According to meteorologist Benito Valderrama, the conditions of the El Niño phenomenon on the Peruvian coast are contributing to the current situation, as well as the departure of the South Pacific anticyclone from the Peruvian coast. The South Pacific anticyclone normally drives cold winds from the south, towards the north of the coast, affecting what is Ica and Lima. Its absence reinforces the influence of summer. This causes the temperature to be higher than usual, he mentioned. The Sinamhi specialist specified that these weather conditions generate warmer winds, along with clear conditions in the early hours of the morning. This scenario causes a progressive increase in temperatures from mid-morning, reaching notable peaks of 33 degrees Celsius in many districts of metropolitan Lima. 2 regions in northern Peru will be the most affected by the heat wave. According to Sinamhi meteorological projections, it is also anticipated that the regions of Tumbes and Piura, located in the northern part of the country, will experience high temperatures in the coming days. David Garay, meteorology engineer at Sinamhi, warns that currently temperatures in these regions range around 37 or 38 degrees. In addition, he points out that, at the beginning of next week, there is the possibility of an increase of up to 2 points in temperature due to a greater entry of warm winds from the northern hemisphere. The expert indicated that this month of February, both in Tumbes and in Piura, will be much hotter than other years. Faced with this scenario, he urged the population to prevent heat stroke, which mainly affects older adults, pregnant women and children. How to prevent heat stroke. Manuel Espinosa Silva, infectious disease specialist at the National Institute of Health, INS, explained that heat stroke can affect people of all ages. However, the risk is greater in children, who do not easily express their symptoms, pregnant women and those over 65 years of age. This problem arises mainly due to prolonged exposure and physical exertion in high temperature conditions. Heat stroke manifests itself when the body temperature reaches or exceeds 40 degrees, without necessarily having any previous illness or infection, said the medical specialist. To prevent heat stroke, the INS infectologist emphasizes the importance of hydration, recommending drinking between 6 and 8 glasses of water a day to avoid dehydration. He also advises wearing wide-brimmed hats, wearing loose cotton clothing and keeping environments ventilated. Additionally, he suggests avoiding excessive sun exposure, especially between 11 a.m. and 5 p.m., as well as refraining from consuming alcohol and heavy, fatty foods. As for food, you should prioritize vegetables such as lettuce, chard, pickles, radishes, tomatoes, kigwa or turnip, as well as fruits such as melon, watermelon, cucumber, among others. What are the symptoms of heat stroke? Heat stroke manifests itself through various symptoms, which the INS doctor, Manuel Espinosa, asked to take into account to be alert. Fever, headache, sensation of vertigo, nausea, confusion, diarrhea, dry mouth, accelerated breathing, weak pulse, reddened skin, loss of consciousness, in extreme cases. If you experience these symptoms, the doctor emphasizes the importance of seeking medical attention immediately. During transfer to the emergency room, it is recommended to use warm water cloths or bathe the patient with warm water as initial measures, he said. Does the blue card reach football? Does the blue card reach football? This is known about the rumor that arose in England and was clarified by FIFA. According to the Telegraph, the IFAB will announce that the blue card will be tested in world football. On social networks, FIFA commented on the matter. In the last few hours, a rumor related to the possibility of introducing the blue card in football spread rapidly. It all started with a news article published by the British newspaper The Telegraph, which detailed that this new card would punish players who commit tactical fouls or protest the referee's decisions with a 10-minute expulsion. According to the aforementioned media, the body in charge of developing the rules of the game, the IFAB, International Football Association Board, would announce the novelty and would begin testing this type of punishment in elite matches this season. Immediately, the possibility was echoed on different continents, as it would be the first time that a new disciplinary card would be introduced, in addition to the yellow and red one in the 1970 World Cup. According to information from The Telegraph, the new protocol would be announced this Friday, February 9th, and would detail that, in the event of receiving 2 blue cards or 1 blue and yellow card, or vice versa, the consequence would be definitive expulsion. The idea was that the highest level parties would be excluded from this rule initially. Hours after this announcement was made in the British newspaper, FIFA expressed itself through its social networks, clarifying that it is very premature to refer to the possibility of including the blue card in professional football. Find out, in this RPP Noticias note, the position of the highest football entity worldwide. FIFA's position. Through its official social networks, and given the impact of the rumor, FIFA expressed itself about the blue card that, supposedly, would be gradually introduced into football. Below is the message published by FIFA Media. FIFA would like to clarify that reports regarding the so-called blue card at elite levels of football are incorrect and premature. Any such testing, if implemented, should be limited to testing responsibly at lower levels, a position that FIFA intends to reiterate when this point is debated at the IFAB General Assembly on March 2. Wendy and Nicola break it with their new song Sakude. Wendy and Nicola break it with their new song Sakude. Nicola Porcella and Wendy Guevara have just released their song that they did in collaboration, and so far they have captivated the audience. Nicola Porcella and Wendy Guevara continue to achieve success, this time together because they have just released a new song called Sakude, where they both managed to catch the public and now became a trend in a matter of hours. Although users confess that they did not have high expectations about this song at the time, the truth is that they now declare themselves fans of the rhythm, the video, the choreography and outfits, because apparently it turned out to be extremely catchy. The famous Guevara and her inseparable friend Porcella did not leave behind the friendship they made when they met in La Casa de los Famosos, where they were even romantically linked, and they themselves fueled the rumors. Although when they left each one took their own path, they did remain friends, and now they have a musical project together, which until now is breaking it on the internet, as it has received great comments and a good reception. Wendy Guevara has been criticized on several occasions, pointing out that she only does lip sync, that is, she does not sing live, nor is she a professional dancer, but this time the Lost took on the task of committing to the launch musical of her. That is why she surprised on social networks with the premiere of Sakude, a song that in less than 24 hours has more than 160,000 views on the YouTube platform, as well as more than 2,000 comments. Most of the public's opinions are positive, as they assured that it is a catchy and fun rhythm, coupled with the production they had and the investment they made with costumes and dancers, but they highlighted the performance of Wendy and Porcella. The Flavors of Peru, exploring the gastronomic excellence of the Andean country. Flavors of Peru, exploring the gastronomic excellence of the Andean country. Once again, Peru is consolidating itself as a benchmark on the world gastronomic scene, which in turn makes it an important tourist destination. Let's learn more about gastronomic Peru in the following report. Peru is a wonderful country full of culture, tradition, majestic landscapes, and captivating and varied cuisine. The exquisiteness of Peruvian cuisine continues to surprise palates worldwide, and this recognition has been evidenced by winning the category of Best Culinary and Cultural Destination nationwide at the World Travel Awards 2023, an event considered the Oscar Awards of tourism. This achievement consolidates the outstanding position of Peruvian gastronomy, being distinguished on 11 occasions as the best culinary destination in the world and on 9 occasions as the best culinary destination in South America. This history of awards highlights the excellence and lasting influence of Peru's rich culinary tradition on the international scene. The historian Juan Hidalgo, specialized in gastronomy, highlights that the richness of Peruvian cuisine is based mainly on the cultural value of the country. Peru is a diverse country historically, geographically and culturally. In the cultural part, we have the issue of food. They have different ways of using ingredients, different recipes, different preparation and way of serving. Everything does what culinary exists in the plural. That's what's interesting, that's where the richness is, that's why they reward us, said Juan Hidalgo. That's why it's no surprise that the best restaurant in the world is in Peru. The Central Restaurant made history by being chosen as the best in the world in the 2023 edition of the World's 50 Best, one of the most prestigious lists in the gastronomic field. Virgilio Martinez, chef and owner of the establishment, revealed that his continuous source of inspiration comes from the abundance of products that the country offers. If we talk about Peru with its mega diversity, its products, not making new recipes, but changes and always reflecting on improvements in all types of cases, of course we talk about why kind of experience, its menus, for 3 to 4 hours, where they can see the geography and verticality of the territory with its products and how we bring together other disciplines, arts and culture so that they have an experience that has to be memorable, said Virgilio Martinez. When it comes to recognition, it is inevitable to mention grilled chicken, distinguished as the best dish in the world made with chicken according to the ranking of Taste Atlas, a web portal that provides information on dishes and restaurants from around the world. Grilled chicken is one of the more than 490 typical dishes, along with more than 2,500 native soups and 250 traditional desserts that make up the rich Peruvian gastronomic offer. And all this is part of the outstanding Peruvian culinary art that has become one of the reasons that motivate foreign visitors to discover the charm of the Peruvian territory. Carlos Loaiza, spokesperson for the Peruvian Chamber of Tourism, CONATUR, points out that this attraction boosts the local economy, especially in a context of economic recession. All these tools will undoubtedly create an opportunity, long-awaited economic reactivation of the sector that is still low. We are still at 50% of what we had pre-pandemic, and that we obviously have to take advantage of the virtues, of the elements that we have in our favor, such as Peruvian gastronomy, so awarded these days to attract the greatest number of tourists whenever possible, expressed Carlos Loaiza. That is why Peru is also written with a G for gastronomy, due to its rich variety that brings joy not only to Peruvians. In addition, it is written with G of the taste with which tasty dishes are enjoyed around a table, with G for those geniuses who transform food into delicacies recognized worldwide, with G of the greatness of the country and its cultural diversity, which transcends and endures throughout generations. Discover the magic of Peruvian flavors and immerse yourself in a unique gastronomic experience. From the majesty of our landscapes to the diversity of our recipes, Peru invites you to explore a world of culinary delights that have conquered the palates of the entire world. Don't miss the opportunity to enjoy a memorable experience full of authenticity and flavor. Subscribe to continue discovering the secrets of our kitchen and leave us your comments sharing your experiences. Welcome to the world of Peruvian flavors.
Peru News Today. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram.
Alondra Garcia Miro is nominated for Latin Influencer at People's Choice Awards 2024. Alondra Garcia Miro is nominated for Latin Influencer at People's Choice Awards 2024. I am lucky to represent my country, said Alondra Garcia Miro upon hearing the news of her being considered for the 2024 People's Choice Awards. Alondra Garcia Miro will represent Peru at the People's Choice Awards 2024. Through her social networks, the model announced that she is nominated in the Latin Influencer of the Year category. The event will take place on February 18th, at the Barker Hangar in Santa Monica, California, in the United States, and the actress was happy when she was told the news. My heart almost stopped. I was just on a work trip and I couldn't believe it. It's true that every effort has its reward. I feel super lucky to represent my country. So I invite you to vote for me, she said. Likewise, Alondra Garcia Miro hopes that the prize is to stay at home, but she has to beat Kel Calderon, Chile, Laura Sanchez, Colombia, Luz Carrero, Mexico, Danny Valle, Mexico, Sujin Kim, Korea, Mexico, Sarthini Hajay, Venezuela, Albania, and Tuffy Russo, Argentina. The People's Choice Awards are awarded annually to the most outstanding in film, television, music and social networks where influencers are highlighted, who are selected by public voting. Peru had already won a People's Choice Awards. In 2022, Flavia Laus was chosen as Latin Influencer of the Year at that year's People's Choice Awards. Through her social networks, she was grateful to her followers and the people who helped her get the international award in which other well-known figures from Latin America participated. I can't believe it. I'm dying, I'm going to cry. I'm super happy, you don't know how much I've fought and been behind the fans to get them to vote. What a thrill, said the model and actress after winning the category. Thanks to her popularity, Flavia Laus beat 7 other international influencers such as the YouTuber Celeste Pellegrini, the artist and motivator Emmanuel Sentis, the Dominican actress Joni Estrella, the Chilean TikToker Ignacio Antonia, the Colombian YouTuber Javier Ramirez, the Venezuelan influencer Juan Pablo dos Santos and the Argentine journalist Lizardo Ponce. Alondra Garcia Miro and her facet as an actress. With the soap opera I Will Find You Again, Miro debuted as an actress on television on April 20, 2020. The young businesswoman had to go through 2 castings, in addition to preparing in intensive workshops with Sergio Gallini and Norma Martinez. The cast is wonderful and I was surrounded by actors from whom I have learned a lot. She absorbed all the knowledge like a sponge, she told the Correo newspaper. Alondra Garcia Miro's role as an actress aroused great expectations among her followers. The protagonist was open to receiving criticism of her work. I will use them to continue polishing myself if I have the opportunity to play another character. To the fullest, Paulo Guerrero trains in Brazil with physical trainer Cesar Vallejo.
Peru News Today, all you need to know about Peru.
To the fullest, Paulo Guerrero trains in Brazil with physical trainer Cesar Vallejo. Paulo Guerrero is getting ready to make his debut with Cesar Vallejo in the Apertura tournament of League One. Paulo Guerrero is focused on arriving in good physical condition in Peru. In the last few hours it was announced that he is already training in Brazil a few days after joining Cesar Vallejo, who starred in the bombshell signing of League One 2024. Through his social networks, Cesar Vallejo reported that he sent a physical trainer to Brazil to train the historic scorer of the Peruvian national team. Full Paulo Guerrero dedicates himself to training with our physical trainer and arrives ready for next weekend. Let's go with everything, Guerrero, was the message from the Poet Club, accompanied by a video of the Predator in full physical work a few meters from the beach. Let us remember that although he said that he would only play for Alianza Lima in Peruvian soccer, Guerrero made the decision to accept the offer from the Trujillo team that for this season also reinforced its squad with Jose Carvalho, Christian Benavente, Josep Mirbalone, among others. When will Guerrero debut in Vallejo? It is 1 year of Paulo Guerrero's contract with the Cesar Vallejo University, with the option to renew for 1 season. In turn, the club president, Richard Acuna, indicated that the experienced footballer would make his debut on the 4th day of the Apertura. He has been doing physical work for approximately 4 or 5 days with the help of the Vallejo coach. In the next few days, we will do a mini pre-season so that when he arrives in Trujillo he can get back on track. On a sporting level, we hope that he can be on the 4th date, on Sunday the 18th, against Sport Huancayo. Dependent on the technical command, he told RPP about Guerrero. Paulo Guerrero reinforces Vallejo. Paulo Guerrero joins the list of signings for the team led by Roberto Mosquera, Oscar Barreto, ex-Unión Comercio, Jose Carvalho, former University, Alec de Numastier, ex-Melgar, Nelson Loyola, ex-Sporting Cristal, Josep Mirbalone, ex-Alianza Lima, Gerson Barreto, ex-Cusco FC, Pierre da Silva, ex-Miami FC, Gayson Pereira, ex-Deportivo Pereira, Christian Benavente, ex-Alianza Lima, Paulo Guerrero, ex-Lugio. Lucia Arellano in the top 10 favorites for Miss World 2024. Lucia Arellano in the top 10 favorites for Miss World 2024. Once again, we are eager to present the candidates selected to compete in the world's prestigious beauty pageant. We are entering the 71st edition of this event, scheduled for next Saturday, March 9th at the Joe Warban Convention Center in India. Attention is focused on the 116 candidates chosen to compete for the coveted beauty title. Amid the speculation and predictions of fans and experts, it is important to announce that Lucia Arellano, the representative of Peru in Miss World 2024, is ranked number 8 on our list. This young Peruvian woman is a true gem, standing out for her fresh and angelic face that captures everyone's attention. Her presence at the pageant does not go unnoticed, since she embodies the elegance and grace of the southern women of her country. This queen is determined to leave an indelible mark on her land, demonstrating the continuing legacy of beauty that Peru has sent to the international stage. With a history of sending extraordinary women to compete on the international stage, Lucia is undoubtedly a key focus point for attention during this pageant. Lucia has an impressive career, being part of a long tradition of Peruvian women who have shown in international beauty pageants. Her participation in Miss World is the next step on her path to global recognition. Lucia's virtues go beyond her external beauty. Her charisma and positive attitude make her a charming candidate, capable of winning hearts anywhere in the world. Additionally, her commitment to social causes and her participation in community projects demonstrate her altruistic spirit and her desire to make the world a better place. As for her chances of winning, Lucia has all the cards on the table. Her natural beauty and strong character place her as a serious contender in the competition. With the support of her country and her unwavering determination, there is no doubt that Lucia has everything it takes to achieve the Miss World 2024 crown and take Peru's pride to the top.